Welcome to Undressing Intimacy, where we cut through the bullshit
Ricky,
so we can get naked.
you can't say that.
Why not? How would you say it then?
Well, maybe more like, welcome to Undressing Intimacy, where we undress emotionally so we can undress physically.
That's exactly what I said. Not sure what the problem is. Welcome to episode number
66.
All right. Miss Amy Lou here. She's been under the weather for the last week. Not feeling so hot. She has warriored through, though, done all her sessions, made it to the day. She was worried that she's going to have a sexy, raspy voice. I said
I do have a pretty raspy voice.
that might bring in more listeners if you get your smoky, sexy, raspy voice in.
I think the opposite.
And she's been worried about making it through there. So I might have to do the majority of the talking, but I hope not, because the subject I'm about to introduce is going to be really important.
I don't know what we're talking about.
She doesn't know it yet. So look for, if you're watching, we'll see the surprise on her face, and then we'll see how long this podcast lasts, if she really wants to talk about it or not.
Okay.
There has been a couple themes that I think have been important in my last couple coachings, and we've had some discussions on this lately. And I think this is a really important topic to discuss. And I hope we're not hitting the Christmas week and no one listens. I went back to the podcast results. The last time we released on the 24th of December, and it was a rough podcast. But I think this is really important, and I want to talk about it. Maybe we'll re-release it later if we need to. I'm starting to see this trend, and a conversation I've had a lot with my male coaching friends. And it's really around the point of desire for their wife and how much they really love and want and desire her, and how difficult it is for them when she doesn't feel desirable, when she doesn't feel like she's sexy or attractive, and that she has this image of her body that's almost in disgust. I've told Amy before that I wish I could pluck my eyes out of my head and pop them in hers. Because if she could see herself the way that I see her, it would change everything in the world. And Amy has spent a lot of time in this area. And I have to tell you, the improvement is drastic, shocking, amazing. There's some men out there that we've coached that are like, oh, I'm not attracted to my wife anymore. She gained some weight, or she had a baby, or anything like that. So for those men, I don't know, tell you, stop listening, because that's a bigger issue. But in general, I see most men who adore and love their wife really are attracted to them sexually, no matter what shape or size they're in. But yet that same attraction doesn't come back to the wife herself being attracted at all to what her body looks like, and is way more hard on herself than anyone else is. And like I said, Amy has worked a lot to get this, but we still come across it, right?
Do.
And we came across it this week. I'm like, babe, you always focus on the one thing that you don't like about yourself, and there's like 999 other things. And it drives me absolutely bonkers. So what I want to talk about today is a little bit about why that is, right? And what are some of the things you've done to really work hard to try to get rid of that? What are some of the things that we can continue to do to maybe change that narrative within our relationship? Because there's nothing more sexy to a man than a woman that feels sexy. And it doesn't matter what shape she's in. It really doesn't. I know that there's been put an image of what a sexy woman should look like. I know that porn has done crazy, stupid stuff to us and caused us to think that we need to look a certain way. But in the reality of it, when I talk to real men that really love their wives, it's her, the aura about her when she feels sexy about herself, that is the greatest turn on. Nothing to do with anything about the size or shape of her body.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, babe?
I'm working through my cough drop over here. Getting ready to jog. I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta get this done faster. You've asked a lot of questions. Let's see, where should I start?
Why don't we start a little back in your journey? Like, tell us about 5-10 years ago and how a struggle it was about your body and body image, And what are some of the things that you did to work on that?
I was so critical of everything because there is so much messaging about how a body should look and how it should be and on the female body. And I think it's happening even on males too, but it is especially on the female body. And like getting ready or getting dressed every day was just hard. And I would look in the mirror and only have critical things to say and only see flaws. And I went through a lot of trying to control my body through food and diet, trying to use it, food, diet, and exercise, which I don't say exercise anymore. I say movement now because
The
it,
older you get, the more to movement it goes.
because exercise became such
Demanding word.
yeah, the meaning of it was so much about you must earn your capacity to eat, you must earn your freedom to eat any type of food. It was like if I hadn't worked out hard enough or burned enough calories, then I didn't deserve food. There was just so much baggage around that word that I had placed on it. I'm not saying exercise is bad in any way. And the exercise I would do was so punishing and really kind of harmful to me. There was nothing really good in that. I was like punishing myself all the time, punishing myself with food, with how my body moved, punishing myself with my thoughts, with my word. I've always wanted to like myself. Like I didn't always wanted to feel good. And but I think that goodness was framed in when I reach this size or when I have this level of self control around food, then I'll feel good. Or when I fix all of these flaws that I see, then
So for a lot of men, and especially for me, so we're not so much on the body image, although I think we get it in some forms, right? There's the whole dad bod thing, and that's okay. And I think it's a little less on there, and there's other things that we struggle with. But for me, it was looking for the validation of my goodness and other things. And I don't know if I've ever asked you this question of what was the drive like to, I know you wanted to be a certain size or look a certain way, but was there an emotional, a mental thing going on at that too? And what was the in-depth thing that was causing you to want to be in that area? What was, for me, like I said, it was validation. What was yours?
I think so much of a woman's appearance is like what validates her, is what gives her worth and meaning. How do you appear as you are working or mothering or taking care of your home or presenting yourself in social settings? There's a lot of emphasis, even in between women. And it's kind of this subtle,
Comparison that you're doing?
like compliments, but that are really,
Backhanded in some way?
yeah. Uh,
Why do you think women do that? Is it back to having something to measure themselves against? And if they are able to push someone else down, it makes them feel like they're better?
I don't know if it's about pushing someone down, but I think that does happen so much as just trying to find their own footing,
Yeah.
their own acceptance,
Because
or my own acceptance.
I find it really strange. Never once said I was unattracted to your body. In fact, it's just the opposite. You were trying to beat me off with a stick because there was no lack thereof. That's I was
No.
talking to one of my clients, and we were talking about maybe looking at things he didn't want to look at. His wife saying you're taking your sexuality somewhere. I'm like, but there's not a lack of sexuality. Going, you have enough to do that and more than she can handle, right? So that's not the problem here. So the problem wasn't that I wasn't attracted to you at all. Just the
No,
opposite. It was that was almost even a driving effect, the negative somehow.
because it seemed to be so focused on my body, on the thing that I didn't actually relate
Ah,
to. And I
so
was like,
gotcha.
where's me in that? And since I didn't have acceptance of my body, and yet you were attracted to this thing that I hadn't, it was like you
Oh,
weren't
interesting.
seeing me.
So all the like my aha light just came on that there's all this heavy and weightness over your body and your image was there. And then here's your partner putting that focus right back to where you don't want it on, right?
Yes.
And that I over indexed on the body and how much I love that,
Yes.
even though it was in a kind and complimentary way, it was still putting a focus on the thing that you didn't care for.
Yes. Or the thing that I was really wrestling with to try and be a certain way.
And it made you feel like that was the only thing that was important to me.
Yes.
And that I didn't care about the whole part of you. I just cared about the body.
Yes.
It goes back to, all we want is a place to put it.
Yes.
Interesting.
So
I think there was some of that, right?
It just compounded the wrestle.
The crazy part about that, right, is that I was seeking validation more than anything else. It wasn't really like trying to focus on having a place to put it or just being focused on your body. I was literally attracted to it, but I was so immature in myself and didn't have that confidence of who I was that I was seeking the validation, and that's how I thought I would get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's how I felt like I was chosen, that if I was attracted to you, that, and in the weirdest way is like, and I find this too in the men, like sometimes the male form just really isn't the form of sensuality.
No, Esther Perel says, I've never had a woman come in and say she's attracted to male genitalia.
Yeah, that's it. So guys, I know, cry a little bit, feel a little down, but it was good to hear that, because I was like, man, all I want is Amy's body. I'm so attracted to it. And she's like, yeah.
Well, I think there are things.
I want your personality.
No, no, it's different than that. But I think there is attraction does go towards the female form because it is the symbol of eroticism. So even women are often aroused by
Right.
the female form, not the male. But the male form provides this emotional quality to be desired, to be ravished. Like there's an emotional quality to that you desire.
Isn't that strange though? That's probably the biggest weakness we have in ourselves. Maybe it's the vice versa, and that's what this intimate relationship does. It brings out the things that we expose that we're not strong in. Because I think if you talk to a man, his being is probably more around the physical, and it's tied to, his things he can do physically, right? Are you strong? Mm-hmm. Can you protect? Can you physically go work and take care of your family? And the wife's over there thinking, I want this emotional.
Yes.
That's what attracts me. And then the man's over here thinking, oh, the physical body is sexy as hell. I want her. And she didn't want nothing to do that. And probably is a little more in the emotional side, a little more stable in those areas. Again, this intimate relationship often exposes the greatest weakness.
It asks us to expand.
Yeah. It says, hey, look at here. So you were definitely caught in this.
I was in the web. I was tangled.
Hated your body.
Years.
You could not stand it.
All sorts of.
You didn't even have the thought that the female form was even sensual, or why it was, or could be.
No, I just knew I was wrestling to try and get mine to some set external standard.
What did you think when you got there? If I got there, what would happen?
I would be happy.
And the happiness would come from what? Because I already wanted you. So external people saying that you look good?
It must have been.
Yeah.
It must have been like more like acceptance. Like when I reach this place, then I'll be accepted. I'll be able to accept myself. I'll be worthy of acceptance from others.
Interesting.
There's so much that goes on, at least in my female mind and what I see in a lot of friends, so much wrestling with.
Am I good enough? Syndrome.
Yeah, but it's really tied to the body.
Interesting.
It's not so much tied. I mean, I also did have like
the house and what the house looks like. If my kids are dressed cute, right, and if they behave themselves in public, I think there's all that kind of stuff too.
But it's really tied to the female body, and I don't know if that's just something inherent because it is a symbol of eroticism, and you have to. It is the struggle of all women to accept that. I don't know.
I think there's a couple things there, right? One, I think that's naturally the case, right? The female body is a symbol of sensuality and sexuality. And because it is, our beautiful marketing people and our businesses have learned that and understood that, and they've doubled down on that, right? So all kinds of products around beautification of the female body and then the sexual side of it too. So they've really learned how, sex sells is what they talk about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why we put it in every title.
Great.
So I mean, it's been taught not only naturally in your mind, but it's been reinforced over and over again in
It's
society.
kind of just in all the air. I don't know that there was a time I ever didn't think it's my job as a woman to be beautiful.
Mm.
And here's what beauty
And
should
this is
be.
what it looks like.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've wallowed, and was bad. You didn't care anything about your body or thought that you were attractive at all. You thought I was crazy, nut, and I just wanted one thing, and that's the only reason why I do it. So we struggled like that for 17, 18, 19, 20. I don't know. Tell
No,
me
I
how
think it
many
was about
years.
17 years.
I think 17. We need to land on a number because I keep bringing it up, but we really were bad for 17 years. The process started about 17 years into marriage, and it took a while before we've gotten to a better spot, but that really was kind of the breaking point, I think. And so as you got into this and you started studying sensuality and sexuality and women and men and intimate relationships, what was the first aha that you had that kind of woke you up to like, man, this may not be the best way to think about this?
I think the idea of embodiment, that our bodies were meant pleasure and that they were a gift. And I was realizing I wasn't feeling any
Mm.
pleasure related to my body in any sense.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many barriers to that. There's so many, you have to have this, you should have this before you can this. And I'm talking like even simple pleasures, even like hugging kids. And I'm not even talking like sensual. I'm just talking,
Like you were numb in some states.
yeah,
Yeah.
like just not receiving any of that. And I think that's really what kind of started waking me up. I've been given this body to experience life, and I'm not experiencing it because I put so many parameters around it. And I think that's like the desire that woke up is I want to be able to enjoy life, my body, pleasure in all its forms, and just to feel not punished.
Yeah.
not res- and I'm not talking like an indulgent pleasure. Like I wanted to enjoy
Feel
sunsets.
something.
Yeah, I wanted to, hug my children and feel them more. I wanted to enjoy textures and sights and smells and sounds and like
That's
everything.
as soon as you say that, this reminds me of our little grandbaby. Like she is so texture driven. It'll be funny
Yeah.
to watch her crawl on a surface, and as soon as she comes to another surface, it's a different texture. She stops,
She does.
and she does this. You can't see it if you're not watching, with a scratchy, scratchy. It feels it scratchy, scratchy,
Like,
scratchy, scratchy. Like, ooh,
new
this is
texture,
different. I have this
texture.
basket that is like totally scratchy, but it has the softest blanket in the middle of it, right? And she crawls up to that thing. In fact, I saw her walk for the first time because she was standing up against this thing and she pushed it like a walker. And I tried to catch it, but I was the only one to see it. Some people calling me liars, but it was true. It happened. But it's so funny to watch her like scratchy, scratchy, and then get to the top of the blanket and go, "Oh, that's
And then
soft."
like
And then
bury
back.
her hand all the way in the softness.
So when you
then...
say that, it's like the natural. Like you look at that, she hasn't had anything ruin her ability to take in and process and enjoy.
I remember that ability to enjoy stopped around 9 or 10 when I started gaining more of the social mind and realizing, oh, there's parameters around what I should look like and be. Because I remember before that, like enjoying, the feel of breeze on my face as I rode in my bike, enjoying being in the ocean, the water. It was very freeing. I remember feeling different clothes that I really loved and enjoyed. And it was before I gained the social mind of shoulds and measures, expectations.
Probably going in from stage 1 to stage 2, right? Where you start seeing the other people's impact and what their
Remember
views make.
food tasting good and enjoying it. Like
Yeah.
I'm just talking about life pleasures in general. And somewhere in that, it became about restricting pleasure and not allowing myself to enjoy, like even exercise and movement. I didn't enjoy even moving and being in my body because it was so much about punishment.
Yeah.
You have to move your body so that you can earn the right to eat.
So you mentioned one thing I think is really uber important, and we work with this with all our clients, especially our female clients, but our male ones too, is that we get to a place where we're so numb. We get to a place where we feel like we're in such a distance between where we're at and the ability to even feel or desire anything. And so there's no way in hell that we're going to go and say, okay, now love your body and it's beautiful and just turning this, it's not like a light switch where you just turn it on and all of a sudden it's all great. And so what we really work on is just getting down to the nitty gritty, just basics of just find a desire. We do this exercise called 25 desires, and we have a blank piece of paper and we ask our clients to sit down, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be sexual. It doesn't have to be anything, but just tell me if you were to sit down and think with nothing in the way, just write down 25 desires that you have. I have women look at me. They think that I'm a foreign object. 25. You might as well ask me to write 5,000. We did this exercise, a similar exercise, not exact, at one of our retreats, and we had women that just had blank pages that had tear stains on them, right? And so it's really hard for them to even think, what is desirable for me? What do I desire?
It was all set by others. Like, I'm here to serve others. I'm here to be a certain way. I've got to look this way.
Like,
Do
can I
this
even
way.
have desires? Is that evil just to have a desire for
Well,
myself?
and even then, the next step was, can I really enjoy just life? Can I
Right.
enjoy parts, sensations, pleasures, experiences my body is giving me? Can I enjoy
Can I just
my
accept that I have a
hands?
body? And that's
Yeah,
great.
can I
Yeah.
accept that I have a body and it is the vehicle through which I experience life? And then can I allow myself to experience
Right.
life?
And we may have overused this story, but I love the green story.
Oh, yeah.
The green story. Someday we might get a permission from the green woman to tell you who this person is, special person in our life. But
Yes.
the green story is that's exactly what we're talking about. She felt nothing. Nothing felt desirable or hopeful for her. And she thought and she worked really hard to find one thing, and it was green. And Amy's like, we can work with that. And green changed her life.
Yeah.
Literally changed her life. We have watched what it's done to her and for her husband and for her family.
Mm-hmm.
It's been absolutely miraculous.
I woke her up. And then as I see clients wake up, you always have permission to live your life. It's just when we absorb these other shoulds or expectations or measurements, we think they become more important than actually living.
Isn't that crazy? When you say it like that, it's crazy. But in the midst of it, that's what feels normal to you.
Yeah.
But you know it's not right because you don't feel right, but it just feels normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think for me, it didn't even start with like loving my body. It was just like, I have one. And what kind of experiences is it giving me? And I don't even know because, I put so many parameters around what it should be. Like, what is it actually experiencing? And what do I actually enjoy? And
Let me ask you one more thing I just thought about.
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt you there, maybe.
that's okay.
We often talk about emotional shutdowns. We talk about if people that are afraid of the negative emotions and they shut it down, they also shut down the positive emotions. You can't do both. Is there anything related to this here? Is there like, if you're trying to avoid that negative body image and you think it's something and you shut that down, you talked about you couldn't even recognize that you had a body or you were able to have experiences. Did you think you shut it all down just to kind of get rid of that feeling that I'm not enough, that I don't look a certain way?
I think I went through phases of shutting it down, which you were very aware of my depressive episodes when I would try and just shut everything off because it was too painful. And then my other swing was to overworking.
Yeah, trying to fix it through work.
Like over functioning, to just like pushing to reach these. And so I think I vacillated between the two.
So here you are finally going, oh my goodness, I don't feel anything through my body. I've kind of just rejected it outright.
Dissociated.
Yeah, I've dissociated with it. And the first step was just to say I have one.
Mm-hmm.
What did that start in you?
It started like a waking up. Oh, I have this. What? Like, what's even going on? What am I feeling? What am I experiencing? And like,
Did you journal or anything on that? I can't remember.
I mean, I've always
I mean,
journaled.
you're a journaler in general, so I just wonder, like,
It's in
during that
which of
process,
the
did you,
100 volumes that are sitting in.
well, as you recognize this, you wrote it down or something to say, oh my gosh, I do have a body.
I've often thought I should go back through my journals and read some of those.
Maybe you should write a female sexuality manifesto.
Maybe. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Our manifestos can make love and make baby manifestos.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm just a little overwhelmed by the amount of journaling that I have and how much searching it would take to, go through.
We'll get them put in AI somehow for us.
But I think it just starts when you disconnect from your body or yourself, whether that's your mind, your emotions, your heart, your soul, your desires. That's when, like, either depression or anxiety or some of these other things really get to the extreme, and you just lose sight of the permission you have to be you and to experience this thing called life. I think another thing that kind of woke me up around this time was it was also the end. So my father passed at the age of 40, and all of my siblings, there's 5 of us, at the age of 40, we all celebrated the fact that we lived to be 40. He didn't get to live beyond that. He only lived a month, I think, past 40. He was like 40 in a month. And so anyways, my siblings and I would, since there's 5 of us, the other 4 would send 10 things that remind us of that person, and you'd get 40 gifts on your 40th birthday, 10 from each of the siblings, and memories. And there was something in me that just stirred and thought, am I even really living? And I have this chance that my father didn't have. What am I going to do with it? And am I taking advantage of the fact that I'm still here? I have these kids, I have this husband, I have this life. What am I doing with it? And it was around that time we started searching and looking and exploring, and it did take a while to find, but I wanted to live, and I could see that I wasn't.
So during this process of finding that you had a body and looking for your desires and wanting to feel through it, well, how did I really mess things up, and how did I help? You can start with either one. I don't care, because I'm sure I messed it up, but I might have helped a little bit too. So for our male friends out there watching or experience this, and they're seeing that their wife might be taking a step to even just trying to discover who she is and about her body, like what can we do to be the most supportive and not screw it up?
You were very supportive when I started to wake up to desires.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm not talking about sexual.
But in general, right? Because I lived those depressive episodes, right? I'd watch the person I love the most have no feeling or not care about herself, or feel like that she could be dead and no one would even care. And how awful is that, right?
You were very supportive, and you have a dream, let's go do it. You want to do this, let's do this. I support you. I will do whatever, like, you were very supportive of my journey, of the fears I had in it. Like, I believe in you. Waking up is amazing and frightening. And as I started to, I guess we're going to call it waking up now, as I started to wake up and realize I had desires, I had this body, I was having these experiences, I had things that I wanted to live for and to do and to experience and to enjoy, some things started changing, right? Life started shifting. I started seeing things in new ways. And I started wanting to grow and to expand. And that expansion has been amazing, but it was really scary at first.
Yeah.
To go from, like, my small little box of life to taking a step out. And there were people that didn't like my expansion. There were people that were directly, it meant changing what I was doing. It meant listening to myself. And some people really didn't like that. And then it was scary because now there was an opportunity for failure. I was only doing things I knew I could succeed at.
Oh, that's very interesting.
And so now as you expand, you're also presented with this idea like, yeah, you might fail. So even as I changed the way I started to move and eat, and as I changed my direction in my business, I was a piano teacher before and I shifted into this whole coaching thing. My piano students were not happy with me. They did not.
The parents.
The parents did not approve. And so there was, like it was facing disapproval. And it was this idea like, I don't even know if I can build a business. I don't even know if I can do this. And what you did that was amazing is you said, you can keep going. You can keep going. And I heavily relied on that at first.
Well, I mean, that's easy. And I didn't do it fake. I knew you better than anyone else on the planet. Anyone else on the planet. I knew your exact weaknesses. I knew where you fell short. And I knew your great strengths. And there was no doubt in my mind. I've known from like the very first time that we spent hours on the phone as you hid under the piano away from all your siblings. And we talked that I had found someone extraordinary. Yeah, was I attracted to you physically? No doubt about it. We've talked about that, right? The boobs help. It was
Crazy.
But the more I got to know you, the more I was shocked. Like, this beautiful woman has so much depth to her, and talent and intellect and musicality. And there was so much about you that I was just shocked. And the thought that you might even pay any interest to me, and that's why it was so hard when you told me to run away and go get out of here.
Sorry.
Because I was like, oh shit, she's not going to pay any interest to me, was just mind blowing. And so at that moment when you were starting to come awake, I'm like, I know you better than anybody. And there's no doubt in my mind, you have the ability to do this. I always knew that she had more to give to this world than what she was given. She was way smarter than I was, like way smarter, and that she could do anything she wanted to do. And she had sacrificed it all to take care of our kids. And it was time that she brought herself back to figure this out. And there was no doubt in my mind. So it wasn't made up. It wasn't a lack of just out there just making up like you can do this, not thinking she really could. I knew her and I knew it. And I might, we had a coaching the other day with some group of men. Well, Amy stops crying. I'll tell this story. With a group of men, and I had coached every single one of those individually, and we were on a group coach. And we were talking about how one of them was like, yeah, I appreciate all your rah-rah, you got this. But then it made me feel like I have to really go do that because now I got to stand up to Greg's standard. Like, oh, that's the wrong way. Maybe I should have said, you suck at that. You're no good. And he was like, exactly. Then I would have proved you wrong. So maybe my rah-rah isn't always the best, and I can rah-rah. But this was different than my rah-rah coaching. It really was. Because I knew no matter what she said, I knew better. I knew better. And there were some frustrating moments when she didn't see it, and I could see it, and I'm like, just be patient enough, long enough for her to see it. It still happens today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we go to make a big move in the business or we go try to do something, I'm the one, yeah, you can do that. Go do it. And she's like, oh, but I can't. It's scary. So every once in a while, I'm a jackass and remind her, I'm like, oh, too bad we left that piano money behind.
Yeah. Such a dork.
But yeah, there is these moments when you see the person you care about the most and you know really you know them better than they know themselves, really. And so that was easy. Okay, that's what I did right, but I knew I did some things wrong too. So where did I screw it up so that we can keep my other,
you have
my
a very
male
famous
friends.
quote that you used to tell me.
Oh,
And you would say, I'd rather have you fat. I'd rather have you happy.
Fat and happy than skinny and depressed.
Yes.
That's not a good one?
Well, no.
Shoot. I thought I should coin that thing. Put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So guys, don't use that phrase. If you have, say you're sorry.
because it wasn't really about weight or that. That was more like, you need to be happy.
I was putting an expectation on you.
Yeah. And I was like, dang it, I'm trying.
I'm never going to get there.
Well, actually, I was coaching this couple this week and they put so much pressure on happiness
That was their goal. Yeah.
and thinking that they should be happy and that happiness was the standard and the measure, that they were actually creating so much misery. And I think that was similar with that quote. It was like, you just need to be happy all the time. And I was like, but I'm not.
Just some of the time, please. Every once in a while.
And so, and again, that was me coming into learning emotional regulation, coming out of numbness. Now I was experiencing a more full range of emotions, and I kind of had to get my footing in those.
So let's take this back up. We've gone kind of along all kinds of different things. We started with the body and the sensuality and sexuality of the body. Maybe let's apply the same things, right? So you started realizing you had this body that you could feel different things. You're like, okay, I can handle that. And then you're like, maybe there's something about this that Greg sees that might be right and
Yep.
not wrong. So
And I did start asking you, like, I would be, we were in intimate moments that you would say something and it would shock me almost like, how can he be thinking that? And so I would ask
you
you,
got curious, yeah.
what are you seeing, experiencing right now?
So you just open your mind that this might be true.
Yeah, there could be another perspective. And you would share things, and I was like, okay.
Like, I don't see him exactly, but maybe I can understand that he has them. That's interesting because we talk about that, right? When we talk about, there's huge shifts for me, realizing that you live life in such a different way and you see things in such a different way and that I couldn't understand them and I may never understand them, but just understanding that you did was life-changing for me. It sounds like there were some of that similarities. Like, I may never look at myself and see myself the same. Greg's eyeballs are not going to be ripped out of his head and put in mine, right? But I can start being curious to why that is.
Well, when I got curious, or I think when anyone does, you start seeing there's other options.
Oh, yes.
And so it's like, this isn't the only way to see.
So maybe I'm not going to rip off my clothes and be completely turned on by my body, but I can realize that it is a form of sensuality.
Right. And I think, I don't know that I will ever see myself the way you see me. However, I appreciate that you see me that way. But I think what was most helpful for me was to be more willing to embody my body, to be in it, to notice what was pleasurable, what felt good, what felt enticing or pleasing or enjoyable, and to follow that.
That's so interesting because that's really what came up this week, right? And I don't understand it. It's totally confusing to me, but that's okay. There's a lot of things I don't understand because we did have this conversation.
Yeah.
Because I had a couple that had been coached and this was something special for him. He felt chosen when his wife was willing to have, take some of these sexting pictures and share them with him just privately, right? And there was once a year that they would do this and he was very excited and it didn't happen and it meant something huge to him. And so it spurred this conversation for us, right? And I'm like, look at this picture of you. Like, you are amazingly beautiful. I was pointing out all the amazingly things about her body. Like this, I can't believe this. And this is this. I can't. And Amy just like, yes, I don't think I'll ever see it. But you said something that made me pause. Like I said, I don't understand it. She's like, I can't see it, but I can feel it. Explain that to us.
When I can now be in my body and enjoy the pleasures and feel really quite lovely.
You can feel sensual.
I can feel sensual. I can feel all of that. But
you still don't see it.
I don't look at my body and have those feelings.
But there was a turn where you had to learn that the female form was sensual.
Yes, like I can appreciate and enjoy that you look at me, like that your gaze is seeing all of those things, and I can appreciate that, and I can even feel that. I can feel the adoration in your gaze. I can feel that.
How do we do that wrong, and how do we do it right? Because there's one time when that gaze was very uncomfortable for you.
Right. It was extracting.
Okay. So I was trying to extract out of you, and so that's why it was. But when it's true, just pure adoration and
Yes.
desire
And so
to
I can
consume.
feel that and I can receive it and I appreciate it. But I don't have that same experience if I'm looking at myself.
So should we just, I don't want to say give up, because my men out there love that word. And they become martyrs. Y'all want to die on the cross of giving up your sexual sensuality. And stop it. Don't do that. So I don't want to use that word, but should I set a different expectation? Like should the expectation be that you may never see a picture of your body or look in the mirror and see the sensualness that I see? But the expectation is that you're going to be able to feel through it, that you're going to be able to recognize it.
Yeah, remember the goal is not sameness.
I know. That's why I'm asking. That's why
Yeah.
I'm asking.
I think that
how do we do that?
you have special eyes.
No, I don't. We're never going to find out because we're not going to share it, but I swear. We can be billionaires.
Stop. And
Pictures of your feet. We could be billionaires.
Okay, stop. I can appreciate, I think there's a gift in the male gaze of the female body. Like it says, yes, you are the symbol of eroticism. And I can appreciate that and I can receive it and I can feel the cherishing, ravishing.
And that's enjoyment for you.
Yes.
And you feel like you are the thing that turns me on. That
yes.
is what gets
and
you
I
all.
enjoy being that.
Yes.
But I'm not going to look at myself and have that same experience. And I know a lot of women are willing to, like in apps like Just Between Us or something, they're willing to have their pictures of their form or something taken for their husband, but they're not going to go looking at them themselves because it doesn't produce the same experience. And so that's where I think sometimes it can get stuck when one of the other spouses is like, you need to have this same experience.
Why are you feeling the same way?
I'm like,
when I was coaching this individual, he was like, yeah, I don't feel chosen at all. Because she doesn't. And even when we walked through this, I was like, why do you think she's so reluctant? And he had a bunch of really good ideas because he's a really deep thinker and I enjoy asking him questions. He says sometimes I ask too many questions. So I had he had some really good insight, but I'm like, I don't think she really enjoys her body right now. I think that's the biggest blocker. He goes, yeah, you're right.
And I think many husbands take that personally, and it's really their wife's journey. Yep. And every single woman and wife I have talked to has to kind of fight to be able to enjoy being in their body. There's some barriers to overcome there. A lot of them tend to be about their expectations and criticism of it. And in some way they've dissociated or shut down from it. And there's different flavors of that. But I feel like it's, at least in our modern day, part of the journey of womanhood is like just learning to have permission to enjoy, to be yourself.
And that was really key to being able to enjoy the sexual encounter.
Yeah.
To really enjoy it. And I was reminded of this. I had another coaching call this week, and I was reminded that it still blows my mind that you can separate this emotional and physical act apart, and you can have this physical act that you can be aroused and do all that, and there's no emotion attached to it, and you feel taken from at that point. I don't know how that works because I can't get there. It doesn't work that way for me. But when we realize that the real key for you to attach the emotion back to the sexual act and find true pleasure and joy, playfulness, what's the other word from the book? Replenishment. Mm-hmm. Was for you to be able to accept this female form of yours, and that there is sensuality to it, and that there is pleasure to be had of it, and that if you can let go and see that, you can find this pleasure.
And I may not see it
with your eyes.
With my eyes.
Maybe feel it is more of the better word. And I've definitely seen, the experience we have now around this, and even in the midst of you being sick and wanting to be close and can't being close, before it'd be an annoyance that I would even want to be with you. And I think this time going through it, like you were annoyed. Like I want to be close to you and I can't feel it. Like it's driving me absolutely bonkers and nuts. And that was so different than any other time that you've been sick. And Like, you're like, don't touch me, don't come near me, rah, 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 rah. And I'm not saying that because you could, like, you were dealing with this pain in your body and this
Yeah.
uncomfortableness, and the thought of someone else being around you was just too much. And this was different. It was like, I want that so bad too, but I can't right now because I don't feel good. And it's
And I
definitely a
think
different experience.
it's just it's the journey I've made from I'd be fine to never have intimate to have sex again, to really understanding and appreciating the gift that it is for me,
The joy and
personally,
pleasure you get out of it for yourself.
and also for us as
Yeah.
a couple. And there was no pleasure for me. You can't have pleasure in a body you're numb and dissociated from. You have to have that capacity to embody this gift that you have, right? Like you have to be able to be present in it. And I didn't have that.
I just want to remind my male friends, this is a journey for your wife, right? And there'll be times that will be frustrating as hell because you'll be able to see something so clearly and she won't be able to see it. And you'll want so much for her to be able to understand her body and what it means to her. And she won't be able to do that. And so the patience to be there and to go on the journey with her, if it's just, hey, I have a body and I can feel things, and that's great. Celebrate that with her, right? If she can be open and honest with you. And I suggest to all my female friends to be open and honest during this journey, because that's what will help you go there. And to be glad that she's feeling something, right?
Yeah.
Don't go to your fantasy world of her ripping her clothes off and screaming because she loves her body, right? It's not, don't go there. You can fantasize about a while, but come back to reality and go on this journey with her. And for my female friends, the reminder, this work is an emotional and mental work. It really is. It's not a physical work. We're reminded just this week that the greatest sexual organ that a woman has is what, babe?
Brain.
Her brain.
Her mind.
Amy was not feeling good, but she really wanted to be with us. And so she was struggling to find pleasure, and she was trying really hard. And then I just started talking some things to her about some of the things that she enjoys and fantasizes, and bam, away she went. And I said, what is that a reminder of, babe? My mind is the biggest sex organ that I have.
Craigie. We might have to edit it.
Nope. So remember, as you're working through this, it's really the emotional and mental side that's a struggle, right? There are physical things that make it hard sometimes as the body changes. Ask Amy. She doesn't know, right? That was the episode. That was the episode on premenopausal women earlier, and then this week being sick. And so that really, there is the physical side of it, but really the struggle becomes from the emotional and mental side of accepting who you are, that you have a body, that it's made for you to have pleasure, that it's okay to have pleasure, that it's not evil to have pleasure, that you're meant to have pleasure. And this sexual intercourse is for you, and intimacy is for you. And you can find pleasure in it. And just overcoming that is a huge challenge. But man, the blessings can be great. So am I in trouble?
You're totally. I know you were going to talk this whole time.
I'm always in trouble. So I'm used to it.
No, you're not in trouble.
Well, my friends, have such a wonderful Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate it in style and enjoyment. Enjoy every moment. I know we've talked several times in the last few podcasts about some of the stresses that come this time of year, but we're getting to the end of it here. So just enjoy it. And we're so grateful that we can be on this journey with you every day and have this opportunity. I was thinking this morning, like, hey, a church congregation is about the size of the amount of people that download our podcast every day. So that's pretty cool, right? Like, once a week, we have a congregation that we get to hang out with, and we just enjoy it and we appreciate it. So thank you so much. Have a Merry Christmas. Please enjoy yourself. And until next time.
Keep undressing.
No, that was a sexy way. Get a Raspberry.
Keep undressing your intimacy.
Bye-bye.